I tried something new recently. I moved into a parking garage. The reason is that I moved back to Denver after my year traveling the country and spending time in Silicon Valley. In Silicon Valley, the temperature stays between roughly 60 and 80 degrees year round, with temperatures dipping to a cool 50s at night during the summertime. So it was very comfortable sleeping in my car in parking lots and parked on the street. However, when I got back to the Midwest last month, I found temperatures that were in the 80s and 90s. That's a little too hot, especially when my car sits in the sun all day and stores up heat reaching temperatures well above 100 degrees. With a parking garage, the inside is shaded from the sun, so the temperature range is not as extreme. At the hottest point over the last month, when it's been between 85 and 95 degrees outside, the inside of the parking garage stayed at around 80 degrees. That keeps my car much cooler than it would be sitting in the sun. On the downside, when the temperature reaches 80 inside the garage, it stays at 80, even when it cools down outside at night. That's because the concrete parking structure holds heat, which makes my car about 80 degrees all day and night. Better than parking outside, but still a little warm for sleeping. That being said, I have gotten used to the warmer sleeping temperature. Fortunately, we as humans are highly adaptable, and we live for thousands of years without air conditioners, so our body is built to cope with a broad range of temperatures. However, I admit that I do turn my car on and run the air conditioner when I wake up sweating in the middle of the night. Anyway, enough about sleeping in a warm car. Now that I have lived in a parking garage for about a month, let me share some insights that I have gained. When considering a parking garage for car living, it is important to take into consideration the location, price, access, and security. Location is fairly obvious. You want to find a parking garage in a neighborhood where you spend most of your time, so it is convenient and you save gas by limiting your driving. I spend my time downtown because that is where the 24-hour WeWork co-working office is located, where I have a membership and spend my days working. So, to find a garage downtown, I began with a Google search. Using the Google Map option, I clicked through different parking garages shown on the map to check out the details for each garage. In addition to finding a convenient location at a price you can afford, you also need to check out the type of access that is allowed. Here is a sign from my garage. As you can see, it has 24-hour access, which means 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That is obviously what you want if you are going to live there. However, even 24/7 garages can have limited access privileges, which are called in and out privileges. They're called in and out privileges because some garages restrict how many times you can come in and out on a daily basis. So you want a garage that has unlimited in and out privileges. You also want to make sure that there are no blackout dates for events. In parking garages that are in high demand areas, like locations near sporting arenas, universities, and civic centers, a garage may retain the right to charge extra for days when there are big events nearby. So make sure that there are no blackout dates. To check things like hours of operations, in and out privileges, possible blackout dates, and other conditions, go directly to the website for the garage, which is usually linked in the Google Map. In addition to location, price, and access, you also need to consider security. The best situation is a parking garage with roll-up overhead doors. Those are doors that open and close as people enter and leave. That means that no one without a parking pass can get into the structure. My garage only has control arms for traffic flow, which is fairly common, but anyone can walk in off of the street, and I have seen homeless people occasionally wandering through the garage. However, my garage does have 24-hour security that drives around and keeps an eye on things. The garage was also recently purchased by a new owner who has posted signs indicating that they will be making security upgrades that include high-speed overhead doors, so I feel like this garage is a good option for around $200 a month. By the way, you can expect to pay anywhere from around $150 to $300 per month for monthly parking at a typical parking garage. One important thing I want to mention is that you always need to read the terms and conditions for your parking contract carefully. My contract specifies that I need to give 30 days notice when I decide to cancel the contract. That's important to know. I also made sure that there was nothing in the contract about sleeping or living in my car. People living in their cars are usually in bad financial circumstances, so they don't typically have hundreds of dollars to spend on renting a space in a parking garage. That means that parking garage owners haven't thought about the possibility of someone renting a space to live in their car, so it usually isn't mentioned in the contract. However, you do want to read the terms carefully to make sure that you aren't breaking any rules that could get you in trouble. Also, as I've mentioned in the past, I recommend a blackout panel system for your windows so no one sees you sleeping in your car at night. You can see how I built the stealth system for hiding myself at night in my videos titled Complete Privacy System, which you can find on days 151 through 156 of my car living. Those videos are included in the playlist for all of my videos, which is linked in the description below. Well, that is a quick overview of my new car living situation, living in a parking garage. If you have any questions, then please feel free to leave them in the comments section below. I work hard to respond to everyone as quickly as possible. Also, if you haven't already done so, then please click the subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and as always, safe travels.